of solving the problems in the ASEAN community and also in the global community. And this seminar has at least 3 objectives. First, it aims to form a network to exchange ideas among university students in ASEAN countries in order to establish a strong regional network for the future of ASEAN. Second, the seminar aims to strengthen and nurture the potentials of ASEAN youth, ASEAN students who will be the leaders of tomorrow in understanding and tackling both regional challenges and global issues in the 21st century. And third, the seminar aims to present ASEAN youth perspective on regional and global issues to the public through issuing the ASEAN Youth Declaration, which will take place next Monday, January 12 at 10 o'clock in this room.
They can also foster a better mutual understanding, make friendship, flourishing which shall become an important network for the future of ASEAN. This seminar also marks the 80th anniversary of Thammasat University. I would like to introduce a bit about our university. Thammasat University is Thailand's second oldest university, officially inaugurated on 27 June 1934 at Thammasat on the bank of the Chao River and on the Ratanakosin Island, where ASEAN students will visit this Sunday. The university was founded by liberal thinker, also Dr. Pridi Phanopyong, who was instrumental in transforming Thailand from absolute monarchy to democracy in 1932. He originally named Thammasat the University of Ethics and Politics, reflecting its primary mission to offer higher education in the disciplines of law and politics to the new citizenry and prepare Thai people to their new democratic system. Hoping to make higher learning accessible to all, Thammasat began as an open university to which no entrance exam was required. Later on, Thammasat University has evolved from an open university for law and politics to a comprehensive research university, offering all levels of academic degree and producing cutting-edge research across a broad spectrum of academic disciplines. Thammasat currently offers more than 240 academic programs in 26 different faculties and colleges located in 4 campuses.
ASEAN was a dream of a few individuals. Almost 50 years ago, in the city of Bangkok, when the foreign minister of Thailand at that time was also part-time professor of law at Thammasat University, Dr. Thanat Korman. He was foreign minister back then in 1967, and his idea was Southeast Asia was just emerging out of our own colonial background. Small, medium size, very diverse. Largest Muslim country is here, Indonesia. The only one Christian Catholic country in Asia is here, the Philippines. 4 contiguous Theravada Buddhist countries are here. Not even in South Asia. Not even in Bihar, in India. But here, Myanmar, Thailand, Cambodia, and Laos. And then the island of Bali is still very much Hindu. And the influence of Confucianism, the influence of many other traditions have certainly pervaded the landscape of Southeast Asia. Only 4% of the the first surface of the earth. All of us, 10 of us. And when we began, it was even less. Because we began with Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines. Now only 4% of the surface of the earth. 10 economies. And
people in a different country. So we are very close, not far. So I believe. So something to organize this one to bring you to show. I read it. I said, very good one. You can see the real city, Ayutthaya. But we remember the past. We have to work. Don't forget. Don't forgive. So we can stay together in this world. Look to the future. Okay, that's your question. The Philippines. Oh, not finished yet? Okay.
Is there a chance to change the later?
Not only that, you all to change that. That's your duty. That's really your duty, all of you, to change this concept. You are the leader. You have to spread the idea to your friends in your country. Join together. Instead of think about friends instead of think about enemy. Friendship is more important.
For me, Pastor, in this seminar, what I saw is that
Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand, and Singapore. We start this organization. The spirit of this organization is cooperation.
it's a very good chance for you to ask me to tell my story and share our reality and our differences in ASEAN. For the first question, I think cooperation is about cooperating materialistically and ideally to get a common goal through difficulties, conflict. And my expectation from this seminar is that now I'm headed to be a part of this community. I want to raise this community to get our goal. So it's really inspires me, motivates me a lot to be on my dream. Thank you.
Thank you.
William from Julian University. We are the same. I study the psychology major. And in my opinion, I think cooperation is taking ideas from each other because we need to cooperate. If we stand alone, we can do nothing. Cooperation is taking an idea. If I need an technology, I need to go to the Japan or Korea. Like this is a cooperation. Now all of the ASEAN countries are now cooperate here. Why? We need to cooperate here to take idea for the future of ASEAN. So we need to cooperate. I don't know what is the corporations, but I need the benefit of corporations. I need the value of corporations. I think cooperation is the benefits and taking the ideas from others and to build the good future and to build a strong regional relationship between the ASEAN and the global community. Thank you.
I have a small mission is before I came here, the manager, the dean of the national university asked me a question is ASEAN a really popular topic among young people my age? So I said no, it wasn't a topic that people would care much about. So my being
being here is also comes with a responsibility to bring the knowledge and the vision of ASEAN to more young people. It is a school member of Vietnam National University in Hanoi. And my major is English teaching education, which means that I'm being trained to be an English teacher in the future. And I'm also the vice president of the student association in my university. And as one of the representatives of students in my school, I think that one of the most mission of mine is knowing how to cooperate. And in order to achieve that purpose, I know that I have to broaden my mind by exposing myself to a multi-country environment, and that is the first and foremost expectation and also aspiration when I come here. Okay, and regarding cooperation, I think that I will describe it in 3 words. The first one is sharing. Actually, we are different with each other. We are different in many ways, but we should have something in common. And the first and also the most important sharing is sharing the same target. We should have for the same goal. That's why we can be in the same boat and to negotiate with each other.
This is the thesis. The thesis is simple. The thesis is that to construct an ASEAN community, I would argue it is extremely difficult. Not only because creating a sense of community is not easy. We have talked about, why it is important, but not easy. But also because this project, the construction of ASEAN community project, takes place in the context of obstacles, difficulties, which include, there are many obstacles, but here are my list. Past demons, unfinished national project, traces of mistrust, the problematic of a market, and contestation between Western and Eastern titans, among others. 5 things that will obstruct the road towards ASEAN community, in my view. These 5 things are past demons, unfinished national project, mistrust, the market, and contestation between Western and Eastern titans.
Western countries as such, because I noticed that when people use Facebook in Western countries, they use it to communicate, to have more serious content. But for ASEAN people, this is my true observation, but perhaps not in detail. But I noticed that people in ASEAN tend to use lots of photos and commenting on personal issues or personal comments, but nothing too much serious. And what about Twitter? How many of you are using Twitter? Okay, it become half of you. I currently using Twitter. I started from using Twitter about 4 years ago as a journalist, and I find it very, very useful to see how other friends in media in ASEAN countries using Twitter in reporting, in analyzing and breaking the news by Twitter. And Facebook is also a good tool to see how community of ASEAN in other countries are doing. But to be thinking of social media as the current tool or future tool, perhaps this is my future audience. Because right now everyone is so used to tablet, used to iPad, Samsung, everything that we use to communicate with people. I guess perhaps in the future as the media, I really have to think, how can I attract?
To examine the case in situ. There is no judge who does that. So this, and I can go on, and we can last, on this subject alone, how people are discriminated against. When you believe in something, human rights are always about the minority in the are always about the minority. And minority doesn't mean less in number. In Thailand, the population is about half men and half women. Despite that fact, women are not minority in terms of number. They are minority in terms of power, in terms of access. That is why they call minority. Okay. So despite the fact that maybe in the composition of your classmates there are more women than men, women are still in the minority because they have less power, they have less access. Okay. People with disabilities, LGBT, lesbian, gay, they are in the minority. People with HIV/AIDS, people who believe in something different from you. Okay. So when we talk about human rights, it is a sensitive issue in the sense that we are talking about protection of the minority, people who are different from us, from the majority. That is why in a society, when we talk about protection of people who think differently from us, it always leads to conflict. It often leads to conflict. You know, look at Thailand. When you think differently in terms of politics, you are branded with wins already, and quite nice in Ayutthaya, and also Summer Palace built by King Rama V about 100 years ago. I think you will enjoy going there on Saturday. It will be a day trip. You can see that I talk about study trip first. I didn't mention about the content yet. To get your attention first. To Ayutthaya for the whole day. And you get a lot of picture, I believe. Very good scenery. We will cover all the best part of Ayutthaya.